Hello everyone, welcome to the Quick Start series of Aruba switches. In this video, we will see brief introduction of new 6200 modular switches. The Aruba CX 6200 switch series is a key product in the Aruba switching portfolio. These switches are ideal for branch and campus access layer use cases. To strengthen the portfolio, here comes the addition of 5 new modular SKUs. The Aruba CX 6200 switch series is next generation family of stackable access switches ideal for enterprise branch offices, campuses, and SMB networks. We have 5 fixed power switches and 5 modular power switches. Scalability with 8-member PSF stacking that can provide up to 384 downlink ports. Conveniently built-in 1 gig or 10 gig uplinks and up to 30-watt POE per port on fixed power switches. The modular switches support 1 gig or 10 gig uplinks, LRM, MACsec, and up to 60-watt POE classics per port. By combining a modern, fully programmable OS with Aruba Network Analytics Engine, the 6200 brings industry-leading monitoring and troubleshooting capabilities to the access layer. The Aruba CX 6200 switches are ideal for customers looking for strong price performance enterprise class access layer switching. Let's see what are the new use cases enabled with these latest 6200 model of switches. The major enhancement is introduction of modular 6200 series of switches with field replaceable units like power supplies and fan trays. We could achieve resiliency with these field replaceable units by having redundant power supply and fans, which is need of the hour. Second is MACsec. The best and most secure solution to vulnerability at the access edge is to use the intelligence of the network. MACsec provides additional needed protection which helps enabling data confidentiality and integrity on the LAN. Next comes the smart rate ports. Today's smart digital workplaces puts huge demands on campus networks. Multi-gigabit Ethernet saves the day by providing speeds of 2.5 gigabits and 5 gigabits while using existing cables to save our time and money. Using existing cabling infrastructure while providing added bandwidth to emerging wireless LAN and data-intensive applications. Next comes the LRM, that is long reach multimode support. It supports 10 gigabit LRM. It is really a game changer for many places which still have older OM1 or single mode to data closets, since it is only the optic which can use both multimode OM1 with 10 gigabit to 220 meters and single mode to 300 meters. Designing a network that is ready to support the explosion of IoT devices and latest wireless technologies is still a challenge. The latest high-performance access points will require more than 30 watt to function. To support these POE devices, we have added new 6200 modular switch that can deliver up to 60 watt POE per port. Last but not least, we have special TAA SKUs. TAA refers to Trade Agreements Act. So the main purpose is to encourage fair and open international trade. So TAA requires that governments may acquire only designated country-made end products. So there is no difference in terms of parts of firmware. They are same. But TAA mandates that product has to be manufactured only in TAA designated country. The Aruba CX 6200 series of switches uses non-blocking output buffered switching architecture that utilizes the Gen 7 Aruba A6. This ensures that our switches offer very low latency and increased packet buffering. The 6200 fixed series of switches has switching capacity of 176 Gbps, but the new modular switches are high-performance switches with up to 272 Gbps of switching capacity along with 130 Mbps of system throughput, and they can scale up to 40 Gbps of stacking bandwidth. So whether in branch office or small to large enterprise environment, you can choose from 10 one-rack unit models, 5 in the fixed SKUs and 5 in the modular SKUs. So each switch includes 4 built-in uplinks that auto-negotiate from 1 gig to 10 gig to deliver non-blocking performance. The fixed format switches include built-in power supplies. The modular switches have rare slots for hot swappable power supply that allows us to customize the POE requirements, and its fans are field replacement. So this provides redundancy for high reliability in the event of power line or supply failures. Apart from that, the optional secondary power supplies increase the total available POE power in the modular switches. So these one rack unit models supports 24 port variant and then a 48 port variant. Apart from that, all the 4 uplink ports in the modular switches are LRM capable, in that 2 ports are MACsec capable as well. The point to be noted is stacking is fully capable via the front panel uplink ports. So no separate stacking model is needed for these switches to form the stack. And to achieve flexible growth, we could do up to 8-member VSF stacking for ease of management and collapsed architectures. With the long-term need of RJ45 console in 6200 series of switches, yes, these switches support RJ45 console. Another added point to be noted is all these 6200 series of switches offer front and side to back airflow. The Aruba CX 6200 series are ideal for branch and then campus access layer use cases. The CX 6200 switch series is designed to be primarily used as a branch or small office access switch. The branch and the access layer connects wired devices like access points, printers, and other devices that need high performance than wireless can provide. In a small campus environment, and usually leverage access switches which offer layer 2 services, the connected endpoints, and in turn connect to small collapsed core. In a large campus, similarly, these access switches connect to the access aggregation and then they by connecting to the service aggregation layer. With the feature set covering deployment with the Aruba CX mobile app, network analytics engine, and network access control with ClearPass, and Aruba Central for deployment, configuration, and monitoring, the 6200 series can meet the needs of any organization like the branch offices or a distributed enterprise or SMB networks. They are also being used in verticals like education, retail, hospitality, enterprise, and government. The Aruba's dynamic segmentation is the key to our 6200 access switches. Regardless of how users and IoT devices connect, consistent policies are enforced across wired and wireless networks, keeping the traffic secure and separate. Let's see the enhancements added in 6200 modular switches one by one. First comes MACsec capable port. So let's see. What is MACsec? MACsec is a protocol which provides link layer point-to-point encryption between two switches or between a host and a switch. It is typically executed in the physical device. and it has been proposed by IEEE 802.1 AE standard. The data traffic carried within the MACsec frame is encrypted and decrypted using industry standard cipher suite. A secure link is established after matching the keys in the MACsec session establishment. So there may arise a question, why do we need MACsec? MACsec is capable of identifying and also preventing most security threats like DOS attacks, denial of service attacks, man-in-the-middle attacks, and then intrusion as well. So it secures the Ethernet link for almost all traffic, including frames from LLDP, LSCP, DHCP, and R that are not typically secured on an Ethernet link. So all our new modular SKUs support MACsec. Currently, we will have two uplink ports supporting MACsec in all these SKUs. The downlink port has MACsec hardware capability presently. The software capability will be added in future incremental software release. Before we see the use case of switch-to-switch MACsec, let's find which are the platforms in our Aruba CX portfolio support MACsec. In access layer, we have new Modular 200 series of switches. Spanning access to aggregation layer, we have 6300 series of switches. Traversing aggregation to core, we have 8360 switches. All these switches support MACsec. But on a slight note, only selected SKUs in these 6300 and 8360 switches support MACsec. Let's see the use case. In this low-density distributed campus, multiple sites are linked with both MACsec and then non-secure links. We have three sites, Site A, Site B, and then Site C. The Site A has access to core switches. The Site B has up to access and aggregation. Site C has only access switches. So there may arise a question, how do we protect such distributed campus? Yes, the solution is through MACsec. With MACsec, secure traffic is assured within this campus environment. So this is a use case which has single encryption mechanism using MACsec on the access, aggregation, and between the core switches. Since MACsec is a hop-to-hop encryption protocol, at every hop there is an encryption and then decryption of the MACsec protocol, and it provides end-to-end security. MACsec is a new choice for enterprises, government, or service providers working on next generation of high-speed encryption. If you have such a need, MACsec can be a cool option. The industry standard IEEE 802.3bt high power POE support Class 6 and provides up to 60 watt to support latest IoT devices and APs. The POE support for IEEE 802.380 power over Ethernet provides up to 30 watt per port as well as any IEEE 802.3 AF compliant end devices. So we have three modular SKUs that support PoE with a 24 PoE switch supporting 30 watt per port with total PoE power of 740 watts. So it's fully PoE power switch where all the ports are capable of providing power at the same time. Next is a 48 port PoE switch. It supports up to 30 watt per port with total PoE power of 1140 watt. Now comes the major part. The Smart Rate SKU supports 60 watt PoE per port with total PoE power of 1440 watt. Always on PoE is a feature that provides the ability for the switch to continue provide power to the end devices across a soft reboot. It is applicable only to the interfaces which were connected and delivering this power before the soft reboot. So these can achieve high availability with always-on POE. Next is quick POE. Quick POE supplies power to the power devices as soon as the switch is plugged into the AC power. So device can initialize at same time as the switch boots up. So these are the game changers for the POE switches, and now they are available in our 6200 model series of switches as well. The 10 gig base alarm transceiver is a multi-mode transceiver developed to be installed in high-speed enterprise environments. As the data rate increases, multi-mode fibers and transceivers emerged as the optimal solution for short-range transmissions. These transceivers are the good choice for building unified and scalable networks and also interconnect buildings which are few hundred meters apart. With the latest trends in networking, network admins are looking to expand their networks and upgrade from 10 gigabits. This would mean better performance in access layer between the data center and then the customer. So it can provide customers with reliable, stable and superfast connection. A significant part of the existing 1 gigabit connections were OM1 multimode fibers. The problem with them is they are not capable of delivering the 10 gigabit speed. So this drove the development of more robust and cost-effective optical transceivers which supports 10 gigabit transmission speeds. And it would also help in upgrading the existing links from 1 gigabits to 10 gigabits connection. So these transceivers allow for upgrade to 10 gigabits without making change in the cable plant. So the new transceiver J9152D will be supporting LRM capability in the 6200 series of switches. So there comes the major question, why are we doing the 10 gig LRM? The enterprise customers as well as higher education customers are still using OM1 and OM2 fibers. To support these customers, we introduce the support of 10 gig LRM in our switches. As increase in IoT devices on campus networks is expected, it is better to have a mix of smart rate and 1 gigabit ports. It represents best the customer needs today and in the future. Opting to go with that, our 6200 modular SKU R8Q71A or its TAE variant R8V12A supports 36 1 gig ports and 12 smart rate ports with capability up to 5 gigabit option. This allows customers to achieve the exact combination and balance between smart rate and then the 1 gigabit ports and also with the fiber uplink ports. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you have any queries, do post your queries in our ads community. See you all.